Now, I think I have clicked the final button. Let's see if it says we're live on Facebook. So
Okay.
hopefully we are.
I'll be the judge of that. Let me see if you are. Okay. Guys, are we live on Facebook?
Yep, Gary's live on Facebook.
Ah, good.
Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Yep. Okay, guys, we're excited. This is super exciting. Webinars streaming live on Facebook. So that's one thing to be excited about. Mr. Gary Ray himself is back from his horse stealing missions in enemy territory. That's another thing to be excited about. But the biggest thing for us to be excited about is that we have finally gotten the Samara, Zink, and Gus the Bus on webinar, live and in person. And how we got them to agree to do this, I don't know, Gary, but we lucked out, didn't we?
We sure did. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We definitely got a power couple on here. You know, we kind of got like Beauty and the Beast kind of thing going here, something like that. So welcome you two, and seriously, thanks. We appreciate it.
Well, they just got back from a refreshing little bit of vacation just before Q4 is hitting the max right now. And I think we're very, 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 very close to hitting max peak, which I think instead of peaking and then dropping off, I think it's going to peak and then it's going to go high speed, high speed, high speed, high speed until about this time in December and then drop off. And so it's a good thing you guys have muscled up for this Q4 because we're ready for a massive ton of action going on. So guys, I want you to start with your Amazon selling journey, if you don't mind. And then Samara, I want you to tell also about how you stumbled on what has become Amazon Seller Tribe, because you guys have been with us for a long time. But anyway, first, start with your Amazon journey. How did you get into the Amazon space?
Well, it was 2016, and I had been in the career of a court stenographer for close to 20 years at that point. Gus had a career in retail. And I used to like to get on my phone at night and unwind with a little Facebook, much to Gus's dismay, because he wasn't into Facebook at the time. And I happened to stumble upon, I believe, a sponsored ad that told me that you can make millions selling on Amazon. And at the time, I was such a valuable customer of Amazon and a believer. And I had no idea there were third-party sellers. I had no idea it was a marketplace similar to, but really unlike eBay. And so I started to do my research, and I fell into a podcast for PL sellers. And it was a podcast that was way over my head, and I didn't know what the buy box was. I didn't know what FBA was or MF and all the acronyms that go along with Amazon. And came home and researched it and just kept listening. And we had kind of talked about doing private label. And when I first approached Gus about this, he thought I was nuts. And he thought it was a, get rich quick scheme, which I confess it's not.
Clearly.
It does not happen overnight for most of us. And Jordan Malik happened to be on that podcast and talked about online and retail arbitrage and sort of getting introduced to sending things into Amazon that way. And so I tried it out. I did some online, and then we went to some stores and scanned. Of course, we did not know what we were doing, but I let the product sit there for a good 2 months while I looked at it and mulled it over. And I'm a person that needs proof of concept. So I stewed about it a little bit. And then finally, I made the jump to let's send in our first box. So that was about 2 months later. And that shipment hit. And ironically, the first thing that sold was something that Gus found. So he was hooked at that moment. I still had to prove that we couldn't, lose our shirts, so to speak. And we slowly started sending in inventory. And that was in July of 2016. And then about November, we had about $1,000 a month in sales. And I was still proof of concept, making sure we weren't going to lose our shirts. And then December of 2016 came, and wow, the volume was insane for somebody doing $1,000. So that first December, we sold 12,000. And that to me,
Wow.
really was proof that this can work. You just need to send more items into Amazon. So we started in 2017 consistently putting in inventory and shopping, and we were doing RA and a little bit of OA. And then in 2017, in August, we live in the DC area, and Gus had a job that was taking his commute. It was about 3 or 4 hours a day.
Wow.
And the company decided to take away his company car.
Oh.
And so now we had to go buy another car for just traveling. And I thought, this is ridiculous. We're spending so much time in the car. He's spending so much time. And in conjunction to that, his dad was going through cancer treatments.
Oh.
So we decided to take that opportunity and put Gus on FMLA so he could take care of his dad, and we could try this out for 3 months and see if Amazon was the route for us to go, maybe full time. He was going to be my guinea pig. So
Still is.
Clearly.
after his FMLA was up, I just didn't have the heart to send him back to
Right.
doing the commute. And we realized that we could really scale this if we had more time to do it.
Right.
And so he never went back after that. And that was in August. And then in September of 2017, we went to our first Amazon conference. And I was lucky enough to get introduced to a woman who kind of told me about her replen business. And we became friends. And she, I think in November, late November, she said, you should really join this tribe. They have a list and maybe it would help you out. And so that was our introduction to Gay. And we got in the group, and I have to admit, I did not look at all the lists that I should have been looking at. But the first one I did very well at. So I never left the group. And that was 2017.
That was a Q4 group.
Yeah, that was the Q4 group, but I was on in the main tribe. And in 2000, we did that from 2017 to 2018. And then in July of 2018, I decided, well, maybe I'll cut back my hours with my job. I was self-employed. I have always been. So I had the luck and fortune of being able to pick and choose my assignments. So I slowly phased myself out. And then in the beginning of 2019, we had a severely epileptic dog, and he ended up coming down with cancer.
Oh.
And I just didn't have a good conscience to go out and do retail at that time. If he had a seizure
Right.
and now he's got cancer and we're not home, I don't want to come home to that. So
Right.
we transitioned completely to OA at that point. And he passed in a week before the Branson conference. And we ended up going to the Branson conference. And that moment where you put everybody in Tribe One on stage, and I took a look around, and who do I need to talk to about Tribe One? And I sought out some of your students and asked them how Tribe One had been for them. And the feedback was amazing. So I decided, well, if they ever do a Tribe Two, that's what we're doing. And I think that moment was so pivotal for us because we joined Tribe Two. And I learned that I am a fearful, greedy person.
Isn't that amazing how that works?
It is.
It is. It is.
And that was very insightful. And I think that has really taught me about myself as a business person, and actually Gus as well, because this has been the best marriage counseling we paid for,
Without question.
because we've had to learn how to communicate with each other, and through the trainings and our personalities, and that has been so beneficial for us, because we not only live together, we work together all day long, especially when you do OA. We're not separating on different sides of the store. I'm not going out in the morning and coming home. We're home together all day long. So that was 2019. And then when the pandemic hit, ironically, we were just really well positioned
Mm-hmm.
to do OA. And we had gone to the Kentucky meetup in September of 2019. And it was at that meetup that we made relationships and networked. And I started to question, how are you doing it? And I like to ask a lot of questions, again, proof of concept. And just the knowledge we garnered from meeting other sellers and the encouragement. And it might just be one little thing that they tell you. And accountability, that has been the biggest thing. And so basically that's kind of where we've been at. We've been mostly OA. We haven't outsourced until just recently. We kind of hired people, but they didn't work out. And I'm the type of person, unfortunately, when that doesn't work out, we just go back to the basics. And it was through other sellers and the encouragement and pushing us to, hey, you need to outsource this, and getting out of my own way with that type of thing. And
And
that,
holding us accountable until we did it.
yeah.
That's good. You know,
This is
Gary-
awesome. Just so you know,
It is.
this is
I
all, I'm making a list of notes here. I mean, this is awesome.
We're not interrupting because she has just laid out the course for a new seller to follow. And all they have to do is do what she said, just do it a little faster, just move a little faster, and understanding if you're, yeah, and get help. If you're the kind of person that needs proof of concept, you know, she didn't stop seeking proof of concept. She kept looking for this to prove itself over and over again. And Samara, this is the reason why we have sellers like you guys on, because there are other people who are wired just like you. They're like, wait a minute, you know, Gary can do it, but I probably can't. You know, Gay can do it, but I probably can't. But then they look at people that they can relate to. Wait, this is a couple that started out here and started out there, and they're doing it. Proof of concept. It means I can do it. We are constantly bringing these stories to you guys in Amazon Seller Tribe because we are constantly made aware by other people's successes that if you put your shoulder to the plow, you can do this. You just have to keep moving. Keep packing another box, right, Samara? How many times did I say that?
Yes.
Keep shipping another box. Put another shipment in. Take one more step. Just keep doing it, because all of a sudden it takes a life of its own, doesn't it?
It does. And I will have to say that I sat down this year. I believe I had messaged you last year, and if I want to sell at this level, what do I need to buy? And I was having struggles with getting the numbers I wanted. And this year, I can't dismiss that COVID has helped just a little bit, but this year I sat down with my numbers from the past 3 years and looked at, wow, if I send this in, I sell this. So I can't sell this number if I don't send this number in. So that really has helped me take my emotion out of it and my fear. And it just makes it consistency and rinse and repeat.
My goodness. Gary, we couldn't have, you
Nope.
can't say it better. You can't say it better.
Actually, I think we'll probably mess it up. Bye, everybody. We're going to stop right there. That was beautiful.
Actually,
Beautiful.
now Samara has been promoted to coach.
Oh my gosh, that was just terrific.
Now she's a coach.
And what I like about this, Gay, is see, I come across from the male perspective, and I come across too strong. And I can't help that if I, you know what I mean, Gus? I couldn't help that if I tried to. It's just who I am. But when I hear Samara explain it, and she sounds so much like my wife as she's explaining this stuff. Joe sounds just like this, that I know a lot of the ladies listening out there can identify with a softer tone, an easier way to understand the problems, family problems, Gus's father, and all of these things, COVID and all of that stuff that I bulldoze through and don't give enough sensitivity to. And Samara, I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate that, because I told Gay before we come on, I said, Gay, I'm not going to talk much. I like your tone better. You just run with it, because I do come across too strong, and I hate that, but I can't change it. It's how I am. But I really want to piggyback on a few things here. I wrote these notes as you went through this. So in 5 seconds, I'm going to read off these notes and listen to these topics, folks. This is just powerful. 2016, 2 months from the time bought the first product to the shipped, needed proof of concept. The first December, they had 12,000 replens, bought list, transition to OA, Tribe 2, Kentucky meetup September, made relationships, one little thing, accountability, mostly OA, relationships, getting out of our own way, and get help.
Come on, come on.
That's powerful.
Samara, you just put together the magic formula. I mean, it couldn't be more succinct. That's the magic formula. That really is. And Gary, I want to side note something she hit on too, is that her Gus and Samara being in Tribe has also been important to their marriage relationship.
Yeah, I love that.
And this is something that we never even dreamed.
Learn how to talk to each other. Yeah.
Learn how to talk to each other. And don't you think, Samara, that it helped that you felt support, you and Gus both felt support from other married couples in the Tribe that are doing this same thing and learning these same things? And that helped you know this is a can-do moment for us.
Yes, because you think you're the only one going through it. And then you find out, no, it's probably a lot of people that are going through the same thing. We just do it at different times.
Then you find out it's everybody.
Yeah.
We're not unique. It's everybody. What's the hurt?
But it's been beneficial to talk to other sellers about things that have come up and how to talk to each other. Because I have to say, we really didn't know we knew how to work together 4 hours a day. He comes home from work.
Right.
We have our downtime, and we have the weekends. When you start working together and you're with each other constantly, and then you have to make big business decisions that I think both of us were very worried about. And so that you need to let that get out of the way, and you don't need to feed into it and let it kind of take control of you. And that's one of the things that we've learned, one foot in front of the other.
Right.
You're not running a marathon. You're not sprinting here.
That's right.
Can I ask this question?
The other person's opinions. It's been funny over the course of maybe the last 6 months. I've really noticed it. I've noticed the business conversations that she and I have, where I'm headstrong on one idea and she's looking at another avenue. But I kind of laugh to myself as we're having these conversations, because 2 years ago, we would have been fighting about this. Now I'm listening to her, what she wants to say with open ears, and she's listening to what I want to say. And we're, making a compromise to be able to do these things.
Gary, that's music. That's music.
Yeah, it is. One of the advantages to working together like this is you decrease the odds, Gus, speaking now from a male perspective. Hopefully you'll find this hilarious. Speaking from the male perspective, when we work with our wives, we decrease the odds of sexual harassment charges. But I will say this, we increase the odds of being murdered in our sleep. So
yeah, that's probably true.
No, seriously, I want to ask you all this. Have you all now, we didn't plan on stumbling into this, but now that we have, do you all have, like, for lack of other words, defined roles, like certain things he does, certain things she does, and you try to stay out of that? You let that person.
That's pretty much it.
We learned very quickly that we needed defined roles, and it helps structure your day. So I'm not very good at training. So I learn something and I teach it to Gus, and then he trains somebody.
That's
So
cool.
he started doing the shipping. That was his role in the beginning. And then as we hired somebody or used a prep center, then I just did all of the OA vetting. And then now he's buying for me. And then what we'll do is he'll train someone else to buy.
Thank
Gotcha.
you.
The
That's
trainer.
beautiful.
That's
That's
I'm not
beautiful.
really the trainer. He's the trainer.
Gotcha. You know, that's
Beautiful.
she's really hitting, they're both hitting on something that's super important when you work in a business partnership, whether it's with your spouse or whether it's with your sister, you know, is to have those defined roles. You know, we just interviewed Carol and Griffey Kessler, a mother and son team, and they have defined roles as well. Of course, they did seem like the most fun they ever have, and they're a big percent is RA for them. But the most fun they have is when they're out RA, and it is kind of a competition between the two of them, but in a fun way. You're not, you know, a mother is never trying to kill her son, usually, generally. And but having those defined roles keeps the stress and keeps your, keeps the headspace clear for more creative things and more openness to opportunity, doesn't it? When you're not stewing over something that has happened with your spouse, you're open more to making good buys. You're open more to making better business decisions.
Definitely.
I think that's super important. Now, let's pause and do something here that I think is incredible. It's probably, Gary, the most fun thing that we get to do. You know, when we hear these kinds of business successes, it really just feeds our soul, because this is part of our mission, is to hopefully multiply ourselves as many times as possible. And as a good parent, you know, I'm kind of the mother of the tribe and he's kind of the father of the tribe, even though we're brother and sister. As a good parent, we always want our children to excel far above anything we ever did. And anytime we see our tribe members excelling, it thrills us. You know, I'm getting I'm texting Gary, you know, this person, and he's like, did you see what they did? And we're so proud of you guys.
Yeah, very.
And we come to a moment in time here where we would love to be able to do this personally, in person. We can't. You're literally sitting in Maryland right now. I'm in Missouri and Gary is in Kentucky. But at this moment, we want to recognize, and I want you to share with the people what has happened to you in the numbers realm of your Amazon seller story. In Branson Conference, if I remember correctly, you had silver lanyards around your neck. Is that correct?
If that's 750,000, yes, we did.
Okay. So silver lanyards. And then if I remember correctly, you were kind of frustrated at that point because you kind of kept hitting that plateau. You're like, bump, you know, up, bump my head, oops, bump my head again, you know, and you were kind of frustrated. You're like, and you told us your journey, how you moved past that frustration. You know, you got into the tribe coaching and began to network with other people just like you that could challenge you and then hold you accountable. And now all of a sudden, you're sending me messages and we're sharing screenshots of sales figures that you probably were thinking it's just so close, but you couldn't quite get it. And now you got it in your hand. And what is that sales level you're on right now?
Well, last year we finished the year at 923, and it was because of my frustration. I think I could have done it anyway. We could have hit the million, but I was tired and needed to regroup, and that's exactly what we did. And then maybe a week ago it was, I think it was October 7th.
It was 5 days before our 12th wedding anniversary.
Whoa.
And yes, that number came across the screen on the phone. And
While we were on vacation. So that was great.
then we had our first million. First,
Whoa.
not
First
rolling.
year-to-date million.
Yeah, first year-to-date million.
We hit our
Year
first
to date million. And they still have Q4, Gary.
And we still have Q4.
Oh my gosh. Does that just thrill your soul?
It does. I knew we could do it, but then you think, can I really do it? You start to doubt yourself. But just pushing through. That has been the biggest thing for us, is one foot in front of the other and just keep going.
And you know you have
So for the next year, we're going to do this with help. So
Right.
we can do some good next year.
come on. Yeah, and you have your systems in place now. You have that support in place now. So your next million is going to be much easier than your first $1 million year to date.
Sure.
Let's celebrate with this right now. So we're far, far apart. So I've got my lanyard here and I'm going to reach it to you. You're going to have to, Gus, can you reach all the way here?
I can get that.
Reach. There you go. I want you to put that around the neck of the well-deserving young lady who has just busted the top out of $1 million in sales to date. Does that?
I love that.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. We are so thrilled with what you guys have accomplished. Come on.
Thanks, y'all. I had to put that on. That's what I thought of watching that.
That's awesome.
Gary, the nice thing too about is that's Rocky 1, I think. And then
Yes.
there's a Rocky 2, and then
Yes.
a Rocky 3, and a Rocky 4, and a Rocky 5, and a 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and Dan Wentworth, right?
Right. Dan Wentworth.
So now you're officially in pursuit of Dan Wentworth and his $10 million seller status. Samara and Gus, we couldn't be more proud of you. The next time we see you at a conference with a lanyard around your neck, you're probably going to be clinking because you're going to have all the gold stars coming down your gold lanyard, and seller success is in your hands. Number one, you stayed in the game. Number two, you kept searching and seeking for information. Number three, you recognized the weakness in yourself was proof of concept. You continually had to feed that proof. So you were a fear-based person. So you were looking for, if this person can do it, then I can do it. Then if this person can do it, then I can do it. And as you saw that happen, your faith just continued to grow, made it easier for you to take that next step. And then you went ahead and made those investments in yourself, in the tribe coaching. And then you made the investment in getting help in your business, which now that you've got that platform set, the next million, it just starts to become a numbers game, doesn't it, Gary?
Yeah, I can honestly tell you, it really does get easier. In Tribe 4, we've talked a lot about which is the best for a man to do the work of 10 men or to hire 10 men. And the people that really get ahead in life are the ones that understand that delegating and hiring people. And I love the beauty of y'all's system. And I'm not kidding you, as years go by, Samara and Gus, you all will be a great role model for people, because you said something, I think, Gabe, probably more powerful than we can lead credence to. And that is, she learns things, gives it to Gus, and then Gus teaches it. If you all can keep mastering that process, just like that's your business model.
Right.
The business model is Samara learns it, Gus teaches it. Samara learns it. If y'all will follow that business model, you guys will make more money than you have ever made in your life. I promise you of that.
That's right.
Learn it and then train it, learn it and then train it, and then make the spread. And then when you do that, that's what people that own franchises do. People that own McDonald's franchises or whatever. That's what the Dan Wentworths do. That's what, and it's even more simpler than making it sound. It really is not. It's like a guy that owns 10 cows, then he owns 100 cows, then he owns 1,000 cows. And everybody thinks he's this brilliant person. And all in the world he's done is scaled up by getting more cows.
Right.
When you hire, people laugh at that if they're not from the farm, but because it sounds so country, but there's billionaire farmers that do this. And it's the same thing in retail or commerce. You learn it and you train it, and you learn it and you train it. You guys are going to make a lot of money doing this.
Yes, yes, you are. You have, and you are, and you will continue, because you've got your system in place now that supports scaling. And you know what I love about what happened to them, Gary, is they started pivoting into OA. And as they pivoted into OA, they had no idea that COVID was coming in the way it was going to come. And instead of sweeping their legs out from under them, like somebody that's almost 100% RA, instead of sweeping their legs out from under them, it just gave them room to grow. So exceptional that in 9-month period of time, you guys hit your $1 million mark. You still have Q4 to go. I'm super excited for what your numbers are going to be as you move forward. But more than that, I will say, Gary, what I value about what's just happened is that they talk about how this has helped their quality of life.
Yeah, by far.
For
And
sure.
when they spoke up about their marriage and so on, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. And I want to thank both of you for you. I mean, I'm your friend and you're my friend. And I want to thank you all for the friendships, because the friendships, Gay, you and I talk about this all the time.
Yes.
If it wasn't for that, me and you wouldn't do this. We would
Right.
just go build our own Amazon businesses.
That's right.
But the good friendships and the love and the laughter and the fun, that's worth more than you can put a price tag on.
Yeah, you know when Samara and Gus is in the room. You absolutely do, because you're going to hear a lot of laughter. You really are. And anybody who hasn't, if you haven't met them in person, you will love them immediately, because they really do have a great perspective. And Gus has a whole pocket full of one-liners that he's always popping out on us to make sure we're here.
We don't take ourselves all that seriously.
He does it. They really, you know, I'm super impressed with what has happened in your business growth and in your tribe growth as well. Samara, you've become friends with several people in the tribe. Gus, you become hunting buddies. You're sporting buddies. Buddies. You find friendships here. You know, we had a young man that talked about that, Gary, at your house on that Sunday after the Kentucky Mastermind, about his best friends are now found in Amazon Seller Tribe. And that makes me so happy that we've really created a safe environment for people to grow friendships and relationships. Yeah. And Samara and Gus, you guys have been a part of that by supporting my mission, and supporting me early in the mission. And then as Gary came in, supporting him in that mission to keep our tribe free of angry trolls. We don't permit them, do we?
No, we don't. And we put them out.
They don't add any
no
value to us, and in fact take quite a bit away. So Gus, what does it feel like to have that gold lanyard hanging around your wife's neck right now?
It's a milestone, and I think what it represents to me is it's the change in our business from finding products to sell to keeping an amount of inventory, and that was kind of the change for me that I knew when she started to try to do that last year. I knew when I saw that change in her, she was going to be wearing that lanyard, because it was no longer finding this was going to be a good product. This is going to be a good product.
Gosh, I love that.
10 products are going to be good. These 30 products, and it went all down to the numbers. Hey, look, all 50 of these. And it's funny, I can't tell you how many times she said earlier that she's fear-based. I'm not. I'm wide open throttle. Like, I just spent 50, whatever the number is, right? I just spent a whole rack of money on credit. Doesn't that scare you? I'm like, no. We're making educated purchases. What's going to happen?
Come on.
Some win, some lose. Okay, hopefully more win, and we can keep
going.
And she lets me know the next week, we spent double what I did last week. Does that scare you? No. Let's go. Pedal to the metal.
One of these times I might scare them.
I doubt it. He's probably pretty hard to scare.
You know what scares them is when UPS shows up and then FedEx shows up and then the postman shows up.
Right, that scares me. When the 18-wheeler shows up in front of our house, I go, oh,
Okay.
you got a forklift? No.
That's just music to our ears, guys. Just music to our ears that you really stepped out in faith when Samara, you saw that opportunity, and then you became really determined to see a change in your life when you're seeing him travel on the road so many hours, and you knew what was happening in his dad's life, and that was really a wear and tear on your soul and wear and tear on his. You didn't want him to go through it. So you're looking for opportunity. There's so many people out there that are looking for opportunity, but sometimes when opportunity knocks, they won't open the door. They're too afraid. And although you have admitted you're a fear-based person, you opened the door. And you started something that you probably never dreamed was actually going to be spinning $1 million business. That's a pretty amazing step.
I'm grateful every day for this journey. Every day.
You said it, journey. It's not a destination. It's just a journey.
Constant.
Even if you left this business now, you could take the things you've learned here and go to the next business with it and make you a better business person.
That's right.
Well, one of the things I like to say before we go to any meetup or any conference, and I say this to Gus all the time, are you ready for our lives to change again? And that is one thing that has happened over and over.
Oh, good one.
Every single time we have gone to a meetup or a conference, it has derailed our business and it has gone almost a completely different direction. We thought we were going to be RA, going and shopping and doing all that. We went to our first one and we got home and it was all OA. And then it changed. And then, we had people and hiring people and prep centers and people helping us to get to that next level. And every single time we have gone to a meetup, it has changed drastically.
Yeah, Gus. And how great was it here at the Kentucky Mastermind when we all met a couple that just knocked out $1 million, and most of it's in grocery. And we were all like, we don't do grocery.
How many people are going through grocery stores a lot different than they used to after being at the Kentucky meetup, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, yeah, you're looking at it. So it makes everything more possible when you see that proof of concept. You see that human in the flesh and they're telling you the truth. You can see the excitement. You can see the joy that they have because they've climbed that mountain and succeeded and they're willing to share that with someone else. The relationships are huge. We talk about that a lot in Seller Tribe, how to form relationships and keep relationships. And the number one thing, guys, if you're new to Amazon Seller Tribe, is to be trustworthy so people will trust you. And if you're trustworthy and people trust you, then they begin to enjoy you in their life and they'll share opportunities with you that you never had any idea. Gary, one day I remember when I had just left a certain store and I'd done very well because there was a guy in the tribe that sent me a tip. He's like, hey, do this. And I was like, hey, I didn't even think of that one. So I'm going to go. So I did it, did very well. It was raining, pouring down rain, loaded it in the car. I'm sitting there getting ready to text Colleen saying I'm getting on the road. And a text came in from you, actually through her, from you that said, such and so in such and so stores on sale, check and see if you got any. It was the store I had just left. Went right back in the store, bought everything they had in that, came out. It was like you just stuffed several $1,000s in my pocket.
How much money did you make from that text?
It was over $2,000. I don't remember the exact number, but it was over $2,000. And I just had the visual image that you were just stuffing $2,000 in my pocket. But Samara and Gus, how many times have you had that happen to you? Somebody turned you on to a category or a brand or a product, wasn't even on your radar.
That has happened a lot.
A lot.
Through relationships.
Somebody's stuffing money right in your pocket.
Right.
I like the saying, you don't know what you don't know. And that has been huge for me because we don't know what we don't know. And there are other people that do know. So
Right.
You go
And,
find
and other people that if you bring value to their life, they're willing to share that with you. And
Yeah.
sometimes the value we bring in another person's life is honest and open friendships
Mhm.
and joy and laughter. You know, we have Gus in the tribe so we can remember to laugh, because Gary and I are probably not, we're not wired to laugh easily.
And he
So-
has this big $1 million booming laugh that's just contagious.
So we need these
Yeah.
relationships. We've enjoyed you guys so much in Amazon Seller Tribe. Gus, is there any one last tidbit you'd like to share? And then Samara, I'm going to ask you the same question. One last tidbit you'd like to share.
Use your friends. Use the people that you know. Ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask. Somebody else has been there. Maybe they haven't even been there yet, and they know when they get there, they're going to ask you for the help. But there's somebody who's been there, and they're all willing to help. The group of people that are in the tribe are so helpful and so friendly. And we can write down, the two of us can write down handfuls of names that we consider our closest friends now.
Yeah, I agree.
Amazing.
That's beautiful.
It requires you to humble yourself, to ask those questions, to lay down that pride that makes you want to think that you know all the answers, and just humble yourself and say, I don't know the answer to this. I've never done this part before. Can you help me with it? Samara, what tidbit would you like to leave with the people today that might help one of them as they're building toward their first $1 million?
I would say for me personally, it's sort of taking the emotion. I'm a woman. I have a lot of emotion about me. Taking the emotion out of things and sitting down and taking a hard look at your numbers and reverse engineering. And that for me has been really instrumental in getting me past some of the hurdles that I have come up against. And trust yourself. You don't need to know everything today, but you're going to know a lot more next week than you did today.
Come on.
So keep one foot in front of the other. You don't have to look at the whole staircase. It's just the first step.
Come
So
on.
Samara,
Wow.
how close did the 2.24 number come? At the end of my first year, when I figured mine up, it came up that for every dollar that I bought, it turned to $2.24 in sales. Now that's a fluid number and it goes up and down all the time. Okay. Sometimes it'll go 2.3, sometimes it'll go 1.98. So right around the 2.0 is a good estimator that for every dollar you spend, roughly it's going to be $2 in sales. Have you been able to look at your numbers enough to validate that on either side of that?
Yes, I went through and saw like how much we sold compared to what our COGS were. And it was about 2.31 for all 4 years that I did it from the time, I think we started using Inventory Lab in 2017. And I did it up through probably maybe August of this year, and just to see. And then I went year by year, and it was relatively consistent across the board.
Wow.
Like you
Thank
said,
you.
it went up a little bit as it does month to month. It goes
Right.
up and down from
Right.
year to year, but that to me was, wow, that's a very consistent number.
That's good. That's spot on.
Folks,
So-
that's mic drop gold nugget time right there.
Come on. Yep.
And then you just divide it by 20. You divide your spend by 20 because, if you're working 5 days a week,
Right.
I'll work 5 days a week, 9 to 5 in this business. And then I had my daily spend I had to hit. And if I don't hit it today, then I know I need to make up for it tomorrow.
Got
And
it.
that has produced consistent numbers.
The first time I did mine, it came up that I needed to do I needed to buy, Gus and Samara, I need to buy $1,971 a day, 5 days a week to hit $1 million. Okay. And that to me just seems so easy to do.
Right.
When I got to that, I thought, and I'm busy running the insurance agency and stuff. And so I live and die with numbers. And when I got that number, I thought, well, that's not hard to do. All I need is more lists and do this and do this. And you know, it really, like you, Samara, it really just kind of opened my eyes to, oh, well, it's just numbers. And all you do is hit that number, and you do, the end result takes care of itself. So that's really interesting. You put that out about the 2.31. Thank you for that.
And target, you need to have targets. You know, you have your sales target, what you want to hit. You know, like you said, Gary, you had $1,900 you had to spend a day. Before this year started, I put a spreadsheet together with all of our sales from last year, with a sales target of a 10% increase month over month, and then a secondary target to hit $1.5 million in sales, and then reverse engineered it to figure out what we needed to do every single month based on what our sales were month by month last year. Samara's never needed to even look at it once. We were so far ahead of that, it wasn't even funny. We missed month one by like $60,000.
Wow.
We missed month two by like 10,000. So we were like 70,000 under target. Month three came, we were back at target. Month four hit, April, we were almost $100,000 over target and never looked back.
Wow.
I never even need to look at the targets because we had beat them for almost for the year.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
When I get off, I'll send you guys a copy of it. So you
Oh,
can
come on.
And what a boost that is to the confidence level for Samara, especially. That's such a boost for the confidence level.
Yep. And then it just becomes an issue of, if you did it once, you can do it twice.
Yes.
If you do it twice, you can do it 20 times. If you
Right.
do it 20 times, you can do it 100 times. It just keeps proving itself over and over again. And we haven't even, you know, if you think about it, we haven't really even scratched the surface of how powerful the Amazon platform will become. I mean, Samara, you were talking about 2016 when you started. I remember in 2016, probably 20% of Amazon's platform were FBA Amazon sellers, third-party sellers. Now it's 65% of the Amazon platform are people just like me and you. And how amazing is that? And we still haven't even scratched the surface of how powerful this is going to be. You guys are going to make a boatload of money.
Yes.
And I'm so happy for you. Gus, I'm so happy for you not be able to have to be on the road. I had no idea you were driving that much to and fro from work, and then the time spent at work. And isn't it wonderful, the
upwards of-
flexibility you have?
Gus, she was asking you, isn't it
Go ahead.
wonderful
I'm sorry I
all the
interrupted
flexibility you have?
Repeat it again. I'm sorry, you broke up there for a second.
She was asking, isn't it wonderful all the flexibility that you have now?
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely wonderful.
Quality of life is very important.
Right. Money's secondary.
Yeah.
That's right. It is.
That's
And
right.
it comes when you get it all balanced right. Money. That's why I said that a while ago, and I mean it. You all are going to make more money than you've ever made in your life. When you get it all balanced out to where the marriage is good, relationships are good, and you end up working 12 hours a day because you want to, because you just don't want to do something. I mean, this is just, it really, then the money just really starts coming in. And
Yep.
it could not happen to a nicer couple.
That's the truth.
We appreciate that.
Yep. We love and appreciate Samara
We
and Gus. Guys, if you've enjoyed this interview, if anything Samara and Gus have shared today has been useful to you, please shout out on this video, or later if we can put up the recording, we'll be doing that. And definitely celebrate with us their Gold Lanyard seller status. They're not going to stay at this status very long, so expect them to be clinking when they walk in with all the gold they'll be carrying on their other lanyards. They're off to the races now. So I don't think you hear any doubt in Samara right now that the concept has been proven. Amazon third-party selling works and changes lives. And we couldn't be happier that we have been a part of their journey. Amazon Seller Tribe, this is what we're really all about. Ultimately, Gary and I are all about helping you become the very best sellers you can be. We always set as the mission to help more people become Gold Lanyard sellers than anyone in the industry, because we know how life-changing it can be. And really, you have heard the testimony straight from Samara and Gus's lips today. Gary, anything you want to add before you take us home?
No, it's a great life when we all stay close together, and let's all of us stay close together, treat each other good, be nice, be kind, be good hearted, and let's all prosper and make as much money as we can. But let's keep as the main central point of all we do to stay humble and love our friends and let our friends love us.
Right. Just a reminder, guys, we have a webinar next Thursday with Jameson Philippi. Most of you think he's just about tacos and silliness, but he actually is a video games guru, and he's going to be walking us through video games. I'm excited for it, Gary. I've actually been in video game sections of stores, and I'm mystified by it. It still looks like Greek to me. I don't understand the language. I don't understand anything about it. But I know that Jameson lives and breathes this, and he's going to be bringing us some great stuff. So be on that webinar next Thursday night at 7 Central Time, when Jameson is going to walk us through how to be a video game guru. So guys, thank you for being here. Congratulations again, Gus.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, Samara, give Gus a big old kiss on the cheek for me, okay? We'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Guys.